Hello, 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 hello. Thank you so much for joining me this evening for another amazing episode about tea. So, you are either watching on our YouTube channel or maybe you're watching on our Sipping Streams Facebook business page. But wherever you're watching from around the world, say hello, drop a comment, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know where in the world you're watching from. For some of you, it might be the middle of the night. Some of you, you might be here with me in Fairbanks, Alaska, where the sun doesn't set in the summertime, and it might be, what time is it now? About 6 o'clock in the evening. Those of you catching up on watching some Facebook, maybe late at night on the East Coast, it might be 10 o'clock at night. But wherever you are, thank you so much for joining me today. So today we're going over a very interesting topic about handmade teas. And I wanted to share with you what it takes to actually hand make tea. Now, there's all different types of handmade teas. We've got the blooming art teas that flower open and they make like a really pretty display. And did you know that these hand rolled display teas, blooming art teas, whatever you want to call them, are all hand tied? All hand tied, all together. Let's see if we can switch this camera view here. You can see that it looks just like a ball of tea leaves, but this all has to be made by hand, individually tied with the cotton string. Then we also have things like jasmine pearls. Jasmine pearls, those are all hand rolled individually too. And so we're going to infuse these tea leaves and show you what they look like. We also have some hand-rolled first flush Darjeeling from India, and it's a black tea, but it's from the first picking of it. And so they will look very similar to the blooming art tea, but these are actually smaller, and these don't actually, these leaves are not individually hand tied to make a piece of art like they typically are made in China. So these are just hand rolled, but still takes a lot of labor of love. And then we also have something that's been trending recently for fancy tea cocktails or just fancy drinks with tea. It's actually not a tea at all, it's a flower. It's a flower, usually in Indonesia and Thailand, and it's called butterfly pea flower. And it makes a bright blue infusion, no caffeine at all, no tea at all. But it does a really crazy thing when you change the pH of it. So I wanted to share with you and get these different teas brewing so we can expand the leaves or the flowers and see how they change over time. But I also have something very special for you. I actually have footage from when I led a tea tour last year in India to show you what it takes to hand roll these specific first flush black tea balls. Just to hand roll them, not even to make them into a blooming art display tea that has all the flowers intricately tied. But we're going to make the blooming art tea, the hand rolled first flush Darjeeling black tea. We're going to infuse the butterfly pea flower. Hey, Christina, thank you so much for joining us from North Pole. And the individually hand rolled jasmine pearls green tea. So people always wonder why our jasmine pearls is so expensive. Well, each of these pearls, each one of these individual pearls is actually 3 leaves this long. It's actually quite a bit of tea. And if you have friends and family who might be interested in watching this episode, share this out with them. Share this off of our business Facebook page, the Sipping Streams page. Share it out. If you are on YouTube, grab the link, share it out. Let people know that we love educating you about tea. So typically tea has certain water temperatures in order to infuse, but I'm going to try to do a quick extraction while I'm showing you this video. So I'm going to start infusing with close to boiling hot water all of my teas, whether they're green teas or black teas. So we're not making it for a perfect cup of tea. We're just doing it so you can see how big these leaves are, what they look like when they unfurl. And while this is steeping, I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage from India so you know what it takes to take evergreen leaves. The Camellia sinensis plant is an evergreen plant, and what it takes to take this thick, leathery leaf to make it into these delicate teas here. So let me share with you right now what that looks like.
So they are very much experienced in making tea balls. You can see here the sizes. Or this leaf shouldn't be very much withered, over withered also. It should be moist. It shouldn't be much withered also. It should be moist so that when they roll it, it rolls faster. Yeah, it doesn't break.
All right, welcome back. Wasn't that amazing? Isn't that crazy? Now, those two women were the best hand rollers out of all the hundreds of tea workers they have, of men and of women at their tea estate in Darjeeling. And it takes a special talent and special patience to get those thick, leathery leaves to stick together. And then they take a cloth to kind of squish and compress them to stay in that ball. I actually tried to hand roll some tea leaves there myself, trying to make some green tea. Oh my gosh, it was a disaster. My leaves just kept opening back up. They wanted to spring open. They wanted to open like tea leaves normally want to do. So if you have any questions, I'll write them down below. Also, for you, those of you who might be watching us for the first time, my name is Jenny. I'm the owner and founder of Sipping Streams Tea Company. I'm an 11-time international award-winning tea company and a certified specialist with the Specialty Tea Institute. And I'm going to be teaching a free 5-day intensive course, absolutely free, no catch at all, that starts July 27th. You just have to go to bit.ly/5days of tea, share it out with your friends and family. It's a super fun, interactive 5-day mini course. And at the end of the week, you can watch all the replays until the end of the week where, poof, all the videos are completely deleted. No, you can't watch them again after that because it's a live interaction with me where you can ask in real time any of your questions and I'll answer them for you. And every day I give away free prizes. So you definitely want to get in on that event that happens at the end of July, July 27th. Go to bit.ly/5days of tea. And I'll teach you all about the health benefits of tea, how to infuse tea properly, because we did win first place at the World Tea Expo for the top tea infusionist competition, and what it takes to find out the different qualities of tea that you have. If you haven't already caught my video, just from this week, I think it was just yesterday, I posted another video to how to evaluate the quality of tea by looking at the particle size and how much it expands. So we have 4 different teas here, and one of them is actually Tassan. It's not a tea at all, and you're like, whoa, what? It's blue. Exactly. It's the blue butterfly pea flower that's from Indonesia or Thailand, and it makes a blue infusion like blue food coloring, but it's natural from the flower itself. So I have some of that in soaking right now, and I'm just going to show you on the GoPro camera here how it's these beautiful blue flowers that have been dried, and they make a blue liqueur, almost like Easter eggs, right? Isn't that crazy? So that's the blue butterfly pea flower. Over here, you'll see how big these jasmine pearls are now. See how much they have, whoa, they have expanded. I don't know if you can, that is one jasmine pearl green tea leaf that was hand rolled. So remember, this is actually a green tea. It's been scented with jasmine, but it has been hand rolled from a tiny pearl shape. And that's what you're paying for, is the labor of that individual person making this hand rolled tea that expands pretty big here. So again, all these are pretty large tea leaves that open up and expand over time. So you can re-steep it up to 4 times. That's the jasmine green tea. Now we have this, which is what we just saw the video footage of. It still is very, very tightly rolled and compressed. Many tea leaves of the black tea of those two women making our specific batch right here in front of you. This is their tea. It was a special batch made just for Sipping Streams Tea Company of First Flush Darjeeling. So you can see how it's still bundled pretty tightly, is meant for many more infusions. Okay, so that's a black tea. Then we have our flowering tea here. And you can see this flowering tea, it's blooming open, and it's not quite open all the way because it's still going to take 4 pots of tea until it completely can open. So let me show you what it looks like when I scoop it out. And here's a side view also right before that. So you can see it's flowering open and it's trying to raise up, but it would actually do better in a taller teapot or a wine glass. So let's show you again over here. This big bundle of hand tied tea leaves. It is very, very hot. I've used boiling water to try to force it open. And this whole bundle, you can see right here, is hand tied. So they had to hold those tea leaves together and then tie them with a cotton string. And same thing with all of these jasmine flowers. I don't want to rip the flowers off, but they have been hand sewn together so they stay all attached when they flower open. When they flower open in the teapot. And that makes 4 pots of tea. So all of these you can re-steep up to 4 times, but probably not the Tisane. Probably not the blue butterfly pea flower, which we sell, and it's a very expensive flower also. We do sell this at Sipping Streams. If you don't find it on our website, you can come into the tea store or write me a message on our website, and I'll get back with you right away. The interesting thing, though, about the blue butterfly pea flower isn't necessarily that it is caffeine-free, but it's its color. It's blue color. That's really fun to mix with different things like cream or something where you change its pH, like lemon juice or vinegar. So I'm going to show you how some people make a lemonade with this and it just changes the color. Okay, I'm going to remove with a spoon all of its flowers really quickly. Okay, and it's just this blue, dark blue color. I had actually made some really cool bubble teas last year for Mermaid Festival, and I used white pearls. And they would put cream in it, and it would look like an ocean wave in the bottle of bubble tea. So we used white pearls, like ocean pearls, in these, with the butterfly pea flower. We put some sugar in it, and when you put a little creamer in it, it looked like a wave, like a really cool color wave. But here, let me show you what this is. I'm just going to put some lemon juice in here. And do you see how it's starting to change purple to pink? It's already changed color. So let me show you on this different camera angle. I don't know if you can see it very well, but is actually, it is now no longer blue, but like this pinkish color, like a pinkish blue color. And if it was thinned out, let me see if I can put some water in it. I might be able to. If I dilute it, you'll see it's more pink and purple than blue. So, isn't that so neat? Now I just have like a lemon tea, essentially, because I just put a shot of lemon juice in here. So, those are some very interesting things that you might have seen or heard of and can kind of help you understand what it means to use like a hand rolled tea, like the jasmine green tea, a flower tea that's just like the butterfly tea flower that is just flowers. That's it. They're not hand rolled, nothing other than they're picked flowers that are blue. And when the pH changes, they turn pink. Hand rolled Darjeeling tea balls that all they were compressed tea leaves, black tea leaves from Darjeeling for their first season, their first flush. And then the Chinese typical display blooming art tea that flowers open. In fact, if I pour this out, you'd be able to see a little bit better with a colder. With colder water. I'll just put some colder water here. And you'll be able to see a little bit better how it wants to really stand up. And it's more clear this way. But when it's steeping with all those tea leaves, it starts to brew and get stronger and stronger. So there's a change in temperature, so it's a little bubbly and fizzy with the temperature changes of a really hot tea leaves changing into, so that's why it looks a little cloudy, but it will settle out once the temperature like neutralizes. But with the mixture of the temperature difference, it looks a little cloudy, even though it isn't actually cloudy. So there you go. Hopefully that was a fun explanation of what some flowering teas are, or what hand-rolled teas are, and why the prices might be pretty expensive. As you can see, there's a lot of labor that goes into it. And tea is the #1 most consumed beverage next to water. So it is definitely a job and an industry, a career that tea pickers, harvesters, manufacturers have job security in, because it is the #1 most consumed beverage in the world next to water, all over the world. So when tea manufacturers, tea harvesters, or whatever go on strike, usually they have a lot of weight in getting their negotiations, because there is a lot of labor and love and artistry that goes into making tea. So I really hope you really appreciated this video. If you have any questions at all, write them down, let me know, and I would love to share more episodes of tea topics that you're interested in. And don't forget to join me for the 5 Days of Tea Transformational Challenge that starts July 27th. Sign up at bit.ly/5 days of tea. It's totally free. You can win some amazing prizes like some of these teas. And we're also going to be giving away a full year's worth of tea if you do your homework, which if you sign up at bit.ly/5 days of tea, you will get the workbook download for free. So just for posting your homework Monday through Wednesday during our challenge, you'll be entered to win a free year of tea from Sipping Streams Tea Company. Thank you so much, everyone, and we hope to catch you next week.